Hey, fellow babies. Oh, this message, this polo goes out to my daughter, Callie, and it goes out to my daughter's son, Shadow, because I just, I say a lot. I say a lot that there are no coincidences, and and uh, and I've kind of always thought that because I'm not going to go into a lot of stuff here, Callie, so don't worry. I mean, just for me, from birth up to becoming Cleo, there are so many things that had to happen, in order for me to be who I am, and I think, those are no coincidences. It was no coincidence. I really feel that in 1989, when I went to IU, that I met my best friend, Susan. It was, it was just an amazing, as soon as Susan and I started talking, we clicked. And it's like, that's not a coincidence, And then, moving forward many years, in 2018, I was in the hospital. And while I was there in the hospital, I met Jolene. I also met, again, Heather. But we're going to leave Heather aside for a moment. Now, Jolene and I started bonding like right away, and then later we had a night where we just completely, totally, totally bonded. And the thing there, one of the reasons I want to mention Heather in that little thing was that Heather became a sort of mother to Jolene, and Jolene was my kindred spirit, and so so there I think, and one of the reasons it was no coincidence is later Jolene told me that when she met me, she had already been looking for someone who was exactly like the person I was at that time, and so she was so afraid for a while to tell me that that's how she felt, and so I. It was no coincidence because I got her to the emotional state, to the psychological state, so that when when she died, she moved on. She was ready, and so. It was, I was in Jolene's life because she needed me to become, to be ready when this happened. Now, Jolene was in my life, and I did not know this. I thought I was just put there for her, and no, she was put there for me too, because without Jolene, no Cleo. No Jolene, no Cleo. And here we're seeing some coincidences that weren't coincidences. I became Cleo, and that brought out the mother in me that had been there all my life. And then I met on Facebook the just awesome, wonderful person, my daughter's son, Shadow, and and we just, I mean, we so bonded, and it's so amazing. And then, and there I'm thinking, if I wasn't Cleo, she wouldn't have had anyone to ask to be her mom in the way she did me. So I'm like, oh, that's obviously not a coincidence. Well, then later in December, I sent a birthday greeting to this young woman whose name at the time was different, and she started talking to me, and she became my daughter, Callie, and again and when I say no coincidences, I mean that Callie and I bit together like this. I am her mom. She's my daughter. We have spent countless hours talking, and we just we were. I'm convinced we were brought together on purpose, and that's how I felt about Heather. And Heather, I'll be honest. I don't want to digress too much, but when I met her, it was much the same. I met Heather maybe about 2009, maybe 2008, somewhere in there. I really don't remember, but she was a cashier at Walmart, and I was in her line, and I just looked up at her, and my jaw dropped, and I said, "You look real familiar," and she gave me this, "Yeah, so do you." We've talked for the last couple of years about this, and we've never put together where we could have seen each other before, and it was just like I said, no coincidence, and it was no coincidence I saw her in the hospital either, bringing us together after maybe 2 or 3 years of not having seen each other, and now, she's my sis. So, why am I making this video today about coincidences? Because my daughter's son and my daughter, thank God thank Harold, we are we're just a different kind of family. I have a lot of kids. I've got Shadow, and I've got Augie, and I've got Erie, and I've got Shane, and I've got Robbie, and I've got Callie. And today, my daughter's son and my daughter told me that they like each other, and they've been afraid to tell me because they thought I would freak out. And no, I didn't freak out. I look at this face. This is my, my one kid. Shadow. She's in England. Oh well, she's in England. And Callie is in Ohio. I'm in Indiana. But really, look at how all three of us this just happened wonderfully. I cannot believe that now that Callie and Shadow are they feel very strongly about each other, and we're gonna see how it works out. I'm a mom, and 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 because I'm a mom, I'm hoping for the best, and I know that from today to the last day of my life, may it be far. I know that my daughter Callie's going to be with me. I know my daughter's son Shadow is going to be with me, and and now I hope that they are with each other just as long. My it I just I can't express how happy I am. Uh, I I want this to work out with all my heart, and I love you kids. I love you both, and they were a little afraid because mom, daughter, and daughter, son, one family, and they like each other, and so, does that make it incest? Well, you know, we're in the same family, yeah, we're in the same family, and you're my kids, but I have to, uh, uh, we're we're not related by blood, kids, um, and and if my two girls become a thing, and if they last, and if they make each other happy, and they support each other, then 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 Hera has smiled upon us all, and and it's just awesome. I'll I'll report back later. I'll report back later, but I have a daughter, and I have a daughter son, and they're both fierce, and I hope they're happy. I so hope they're happy, and I hope they're happy for a long, long time. Bless them.